project is called Boxes to Beds, and it's actually quite a literal name, as our project's purpose is to turn cardboard waste into beds for quarantine centers.
We have researched about how there's lots of cardboard waste in solid waste streams, and according to a Stanchart poll, the online shopping has increased by 85%. We have also seen that in quarantine centers there is a lack of beds, so we decided to come up with this project.
With our solution, Box to Beds, we are defeating two problems at once. The problem of too many cardboard in waste streams and the problem of too little quarantine beds in quarantine centers. We address this issue because these two problems are very relevant because of how there's a lot of people are doing online shopping right now, and there's too little quarantine beds, and both of them are very relevant to the world of today and to COVID-19. And yeah,
I felt that the people in the quarantine centers weren't receiving as much attention as they were supposed to, as many of the quarantine workers and all the doctors were rushing around and doing everything they could, and so we decided to help out by pitching in and doing as much as we could for this.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera, saya Otto Othman. Sekiranya anda belum tahu lagi, Majalah Didik merupakan inisiatif penerbitan usaha sama antara Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia, Impact Hub Kuala Lumpur dan Media Prima. Di sini, kita akan kongsikan projek-projek impak sosial yang diilhamkan oleh pelajar-pelajar sekolah menerusi program Design for Change ICAN Schools Challenge. Dalam setiap episod, anda boleh melihat bagaimana metodologi FEEDS digunakan untuk menyelesaikan masalah yang berlaku dalam komuniti mereka. Apakah itu FEEDS? F adalah feel, iaitu merasakan. I adalah imagine, iaitu membayangkan. D adalah do, iaitu melaksanakan. Dan S adalah share, iaitu berkongsi. Dengan menggunakan metodologi ini, murid-murid ini telah melatih diri mereka dengan sifat empati, etika yang tinggi, rasa bertanggungjawab dan semangat untuk mencapai kecemerlangan dalam semua pekerjaan yang dilakukan. Episod hari ini bertemakan Responsible Consumption and Production dan Sustainable Cities and Communities, yang merupakan antara 17 sasaran matlamat pembangunan mampan yang digariskan oleh Pertubuhan Bangsa-Bangsa Bersatu. Itulah yang akan kita saksikan dalam program Majalah Didik hari ini. Bagaimana murid-murid sekolah melahirkan projek impak sosial yang menepati sasaran itu. Kalau kita perhatikan kan, kebanyakan cardboard diperbuat daripada gantian kayu sejak dahulu lagi dan merupakan lebih daripada 40% daripada sisa pepejal. Kalau kita selidik sendiri, setiap rumah boleh menghasilkan 13,000 kepingan sisa cardboard setiap tahun. Selain itu, semenjak COVID-19 melanda negara ini, ia secara tidak langsung menjejaskan fasiliti di hospital. Antara yang paling terkesan adalah bilangan katil yang tidak mencukupi akibat peningkatan kes secara mendadak. Ramai pesakit terpaksa duduk ataupun baring di atas lantai. Sebab itu, murid-murid dari Sekolah Antarabangsa Prince of Wales Island Pulau Pinang mencetuskan idea untuk mengitar semula bahan cardboard untuk dijadikan sebagai katil. Sekolah ini telah ditubuhkan pada tahun 2011 di balik pulau Pulau Pinang. Menariknya sekolah ini, ia mempunyai 2 orang pengetua, iaitu Puan Dina Howtree dan Encik Marcus Sherwood. Powys kini terkenal dalam kalangan ibu bapa, anak-anak dan masyarakat umum sebagai sebuah sekolah persendirian sebagai pusat kecemerlangan dalam bidang berkaitan seni termasuk muzik, drama dan seni visual. Selain itu, mereka juga pernah menyertai pertandingan bertaraf antarabangsa seperti World Scholars Cup, debate, pengucapan awam dan model United Nations. Sejak menerima pengiktirafan sebagai satu-satunya pusat kecemerlangan bagi program Design Engineer Construct DEC, sekolah ini juga telah berjaya melahirkan 2 orang juara anugerah antarabangsa DEC. Sebenarnya banyak lagi pengiktirafan yang berjaya dicatatkan oleh penulis, termasuklah Times Education Supplement School of the Year, Race for Good 2020, Steinway Southeast Asia Piano Competition dan Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. Bukan calang-calang sekolah yang kita tampilkan dalam majalah didik kan? Jom kita saksikan paparan seterusnya.
Project is called Box to Bits as it's quite straightforward. We're turning cardboard boxes into cardboard bits.
So Boxes to Bit is a project that kills 2 birds with 1 stone by looking at the cardboard waste that's been going on around our planet and helping the people in quarantine. And so we thought up of the name as it was most literally that we were turning boxes into beds. So Caitlin came up with the name as we didn't really have much to name our project.
My team members are Caitlin, Chingy, and Sherman.
The team was actually fellow acquaintances in our year group, but we all joined this committee called the Sustainable Development Committee, and we decided, since we were all competing in this competition, we all decided to team up as we've already known each other.
We actually got to know each other as we were from the same Race for Good committee, and we were the only ones who were interested in joining this, so we just came together as a team.
Okay, so this issue was actually mainly brought up by the community as we asked many people in our community as in what complications do you face today, and this problem mainly came out a lot. Too much cardboard waste as well as too little beds in quarantine centers, as this problem mainly resonated with the present time. So we had decided we would kill 2 birds with 1 stone with our solution and turn the cardboard waste into cardboard beds. There was also an increase of 85% during the quarantine as everybody needed to get stuff and weren't able to go outside. So via the online shopping, 85% of cardboard waste had increased.
So actually, because of all of the cardboard waste that's going around and all of the people that need our help right now, it gave me lots of empathy for those people, and also because of the pollution that's going around in our planet.
Personally, I wanted to participate because I'm really interested in saving the environment, as the environment is in great danger now because of global warming, and I feel that by this project we're recycling cardboard waste and saving the environment.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Sherman.
And I'm Chingy. We are students from Powys, and this is our project,
Boxes to Beds.
This project is inspired by the current COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the high number of COVID-19 cases every day, there's an unprecedented need for beds in quarantine centers all over our country. Cardboard makes up around 41% of solid waste streams. An average household can throw away 13,000 pieces of cardboard every year. Most of this is packaging on foods and retail items.
hospitals and quarantine centers no longer have to scramble all the possible resources as beds to accommodate the people in quarantine. In this moment in time, many beds are needed in hospitals to cater to the people that have coronavirus. Getting permanent beds would have a high cost, and when the pandemic eases, there's not much use for these beds. So we reached out to a company called Public Packages that specializes in paper and cardboard products. They're able to create beds out of recycled cardboard. These beds are sturdy and can be easily recycled. We're collaborating with them to produce these beds to be supplied and tested at a quarantine center.
Since the pandemic, people have been doing a lot of the shopping online, which means there are more cardboard boxes being used as packaging. According to the Snapchat poll 2020, 73% of Malaysians have been doing their shopping online. Instead of this being additional waste, our Boxes to Beds project kills two birds with one stone, turning paper packaging into beds to be used in quarantine centers. We plan to set up specially marked bins at apartment buildings. People who live in the apartments can then dispose of their cardboard packaging in these bins, and we will collect it and have it recycled into beds.
We've reached out to grocery stores and apartment complexes who are helping by giving their wasted congregated board. Public Packages has already been able to create the beds. They're able to withstand and support more than 100 kgs. And through Public Packages, we've contacted social organizations that have agreed to help donate the beds to quarantine centers.
We hope this video really helped you to understand our project.
We're changing this waste into something useful.
And a quote by Yotam Otto was that one person's trash is another person's treasure. And this trash that we throw away is going to change someone's life, or maybe even save it.
Thanks for watching, and this is our project, Boxes to Beds.
There's an increase in online shopping because of COVID-19, where everyone has to stay home due to the pandemic. And we know this because of the Stanchart poll 2020. And yeah, the solid waste streams have consist of lots of cardboard waste as well. And we really don't want that to come into our streams. We want our streams to be clean. So yeah, those two statistics have been really concerning to us when we were looking into the project. Our team contacted Public Packages and found out that they do create cardboard bits, and this was really great because we knew that there was a solution to our problem, and we can turn the cardboard into cardboard bits through Public Packages.
Research was mainly asking people and even like searching on news articles, looking at newspapers, and certain news articles brought our attention, such as a news article that was brought up that people in the quarantine centers were scrambling everything they could to make beds, such as crates, boxes, anything they could find really. And so we felt much empathy to this, and so we decided to create our project Boxes to Beds.
Right now, actually, there's quite a lot of pollution that's going on in our planet, and with the current situation of COVID-19, we felt that as a team and me, we felt that we had to pitch in to help as much as we possibly could. So my role is to do miscellaneous stuff such as getting the truck costs and organizing all of the funds that we need.
Many actions were taken, but mainly contacting, as we needed to contact many places to help us with this implementation. So we've mainly contacted social organizations as well as Public Packages, so they were able to help us with creating the beds and transporting it to the Public Packages themselves and towards the quarantine centers. To actually get the cardboard, we set up cardboard collection points with special bins in apartments, which we have contacted.
Basically, we had many cardboard collection points such as hotels, apartments, and stores. We reached out to all of these places, and we decided to put our special bins with stickers on them to show that these are our cardboard collection bins and these aren't just normal recycling bins. these bins will be of great help to the quarantine centers and other places that could possibly need.
I'm actually the fundraiser, so I created the fundraiser website mainly to fund our transportation for the cardboard collection points, as we needed money to transport it. And we shared the link with our friends, family, and the school even helped us and put it up on the bulletin board. At first, it wasn't that successful, but after we started to promote it more, we managed to raise, as of today, 298 USD.
We shared our projects through social media, and our school helps us to promote it through their FB page and also through the bulletin board that we read every single morning.
Mainly we use social media, as my teammate had mentioned, as mainly Instagram. We set up an Instagram account where we would post weekly or fortnightly posts to update our followers as well as our community about our project updates and how we are doing. As well as school helping us put around posters to spread the word around our school.
I think it's important because people need to realize that our problem is actually something worth being discussed about, and they'll realize that our problem is important as well, and they may also realize that they can make a change to society as well.
Personally, I feel like Boxes to Beds isn't just a team project. I feel like the community around us should know about this project because, as I said before, it's tackling two problems in one go. The cardboard waste that's going around our planet, and we're helping to solve the COVID-19 issue right now. So I feel like it's not just a project for us, it's a project for our entire community to get to know about. It's quite important and it will affect the future of our planet.
So there was this alumni of our school who had seen our post, and she was very supportive, and we thank her a lot. She kept on commenting that we were doing so well and that we are doing is great, as well as everyone else in the community was very supportive of our project and would contribute as much as they could by donating either money or donating cardboard or just encouraging us in general.
All of my teachers, family, and friends were really supportive of this project, and when they heard about this, they were always looking for ways to help us, like donating cardboard or donating money to our project.
I think the most valuable lesson was being proactive, and you really needed to know what problems are coming in front of you, and you need to think of how you're going to solve the problem even before it comes, and you need to prepare for the solution because you never really know what's going to come, but you still need to be prepared for it.
I think the most valuable lesson in this project was mainly collaboration, as obviously we've all had to work in a team and chip in our own part. The collaboration could have honestly impacted a lot about our project. If we didn't work together at all, nothing would have happened, or if we were all against each other, nothing would have worked well and it wouldn't have worked. But I'm very thankful for my teammates that we are all very collaborative and we were able to work together. So that is why I think collaboration was a huge part of this project.
In my opinion, the most valuable lesson I've learned is how to help people in need. And I feel like I've done this a lot of times before, but now this is one of the times where we really have to take a step out and help others. Like, for example, our planet is currently having a lot of waste, and because of this COVID-19 situation, lots of people are being affected by it. Family, friends, and even the doctors in quarantine centers, all the patients. So I feel like this is when we have to chip in and do our small part to help out the community.
I hope that we can make beds for not only COVID-19 quarantine centers, but maybe underprivileged communities and maybe even relief centers to help them. I think the most valuable lesson was actually teamwork, as in the beginning we weren't really that coordinated with each other and we had really different ideas, but in the end we started to learn how to communicate better.
I enjoyed sharing our project with other people because it's really nice to see people being really supportive of our project, and they may actually see that, oh, our problem is actually worth being talked about and discussed, and it's really important and it really needs to be changed.
Personally, I'm a very hands-on person, so I enjoyed the do part the most. Seeing our project go back into action and seeing everything come together was really satisfying to see, as well as people thinking that we were very young and that we were accomplishing so much was very satisfying in a way to hear and see, and also just generally seeing things happen.
In my personal opinion, I feel like imagining the thought of this project was my favorite, as I'd say, quite an imaginative person, and thinking of all the things that we could possibly do to help these people was the most enjoyable part.
Personally, I enjoyed Do the most as we were actually helping somebody and implementing it outside instead of just having it as an idea. I remember it being more fun to contact people than just sitting all day at home planning for it.
Hi, I'm Darren Lim. I've been teaching geography for 9 years at the Prince of Wales Island International School. So it started with us finding out about the Design for Change program. And when it first came to us from Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia and Impact Hub, we thought, wow, this is really a very, very good project based competition for our kids, because not only do they get to develop solutions that can solve issues in the community, but it also challenges their critical thinking and creativity. So from then on, I sent out the information to our school community, and we ended up getting these 7 wonderful, brilliant kids that we saw today, who deliver their projects to such a very, very high standard. Certainly upcycling is a very important concept to teach our students today. So not only are we seeing worsening effects of environmental damage and climate change that's happening around us, but we are also seeing worsening inequality and poverty. So these are concepts that have been taught in my geography class, but through getting the students to be involved in this project where they really upcycle cardboard waste in order to develop into quarantine center beds. What we are seeing here is the students applying all the concepts they have learned in order to also generate a solution that is much needed at present with regards to the health and safety of the people at the quarantine centers. But also, we are coming up with solutions that could help potentially generate income for communities in need. For example, if they were to embark on adopting our upcycling project, which our students have created, they will be able to make, let's say, a couple of 100 boxes into beds a month, and that will actually transform the community as they earn a living from the production of these beds.
My name is Anna Glossop. I've been in Powys 7 years, and I teach design and technology. Our students are learning about sustainability from a young age, and we try to integrate that all the way through the curriculum, from lower school right the way up to A-level. So drip feeding that knowledge from an early age helps them to take a sustainable approach to their life and to integrate good habits in their learning inside and outside school.
Design for Change has impacted some changes in the approach to my teaching. Now, I've been a champion of project-based learning, which Design for Change certainly affords the students. But before this, I might have tended to lean a lot towards theoretical teaching, simply because it enables us to get through the curriculum. But through my involvement in Design for Change, I then realized that there are many other innovative ways to get through the curriculum, and by getting the students to actually do, implement, share their ideas, it has actually gotten them to absorb the knowledge better, and it has allowed them to gain a very firm understanding of the concepts and the knowledge behind topics, especially those related to environment and climate change.
I think we've got some new equipment recently. We've got an injection moulder, so we've got new facilities that we can use. So we've been excited by that. It's given us new opportunities to make and create new items and to share that enthusiasm with the student.
I saw that Design for Change allows students to implement the design thinking principles of feel, imagine, do and share, which is certainly great because it helps to firm up their knowledge with regards to the topics they're learning. Especially in geography, we deal with topics regarding environment and climate change. These are pertinent issues. What we are seeing here, especially after implementing the feel, imagine, do, share principles, I can see the students becoming more engaged in the classroom, while at the same time certainly their understanding of the concepts, the theories behind environment and climate change has become stronger. Wow, it's really a very difficult question because there's just so many takeaways that I've gained, both as a teacher and also personally as an individual through this program. Now, when you look at these 11 to 12-year-old girls coming up with such innovative solutions to the box waste problem by developing something else in the form of these beds to solve the quarantine center bed shortage issue, it really takes a lot of creativity, a lot of gung-ho-ness, a lot of boldness to actually come up with such a radical and totally innovative sort of idea like this. And it makes me reflect as a teacher as to how I should approach my teaching, and what it has driven me to do is to look out for more initiatives to drive the students to challenge the limits of their creative thinking, their critical thinking, as well as their ability to implement the design thinking principles which Design for Change has introduced through this program in their daily lives.
Getting to know them better, seeing their successes, seeing what they're capable of achieving, and yeah, watching them navigate their way through the project themselves. They've been incredibly independent, really. It's a pleasure to teach.
When the Year 8 team came and saw Mr. Lim about launching this particular project, there's nothing more fitting than what is happening in the world now. Ultimately, it impacts recycling and also the global pandemic. And I think ultimately those two things together affect nearly every person on this planet. And so the students have come up with a wonderful idea to be able to improve lives for pretty much everybody. People affected by the pandemic, people affected by having a loss of housing due to the pandemic and having the boxes to beds, as well as recycling. So I'm really, really pleased that they've come up with this initiative and managed to combine almost two birds with one stone, as the saying goes. It was such an amazing idea to start to get people to think about cardboard waste. Of course, cardboard comes through our doors quite often with regards to the packaging, be it food when we've gone shopping, or ultimately when we've got delivery. And I think the girls quoted to me 85% online deliveries have increased. And so ultimately, by getting our community to be more aware of what we are doing with that packaging has made a massive difference. Our school waste, and the students wouldn't be aware of this, we've managed to drop our school waste by around 40% by ultimately directing our cardboard to a new location. And it being able to impact the local community is fantastic, that ultimately it doesn't go to waste, it gets used for the greater good. Well, because of the way that the students have approached this, actually we've looked at completely reinventing our afternoon program. So we have what we call now a Powis project, and so we undertake every Friday afternoon a global citizenship and service education. So our students are now going out in the community in a number of different ways, and it was truly student voice and this project that's kind of launched that as a big catalyst. So our students now work with a number of different charities and go out and visit. We're working with refugee community as well. And so the students have ultimately launched this and given us a beautiful position, a foundation to work from by seeing the benefits of project-based learning. And they now have 30 projects roughly every afternoon to choose from that the students ultimately lead and then get to see the fruition, the actual output at the end of it. I think it's vitally important to have project-based learning brought into a school environment from a young age. Ultimately, we have students of 12 years old and they have an opportunity to improve their learning and start to tailor-make their learning. By empowering them to make decisions, they get to find out what they're truly interested in, also where their passions lie. They also get to look at things that they wouldn't necessarily get to look at in a structured curriculum, because well, recycling is only touched on very, very little. And also the pandemic actually has not been brought into school at all, other than what we know and what students have read. This has actually put it into the forefront of their education, and they've been able to build their own learning around something that they feel passionately about. So the students have really started us on a massive journey at this point in time with regards to our recycling, and that's kind of the first catalyst, is ultimately how we manage our cardboard waste, and then ultimately how we also see our local community by being able to donate and give back, because service education is ultimately about that. It's about the students feeling like they can make a difference. So now these particular students have gone off and done other things. We have a Christmas fair coming up, and all of the students involved are making other products to sell at this Christmas fair to then donate that money for people in need. And it has given them power. It really has empowered them to make choices and then do something for the local community. It's wonderful to see students of 12 years old going out now and taking this the next step further. Caitlin, as an example, has created pancakes that she's selling, frozen pancakes, and donating some of that money to community. We've got other students that are now going into our local cat sanctuary, and we've got another student that is now doing crochet and selling the items that she's producing. And that's all because of this project-based learning, that they've ultimately started to have some form of ownership, and they've then been able to feel more empowered to make a change and make something different.
Before starting this project, it was really hard to come up with a problem, and it's really indecisive, and finding a solution was tricky as well, and the whole idea of finding problems and solutions was really overwhelming because there were so many topics to choose from. Yeah, so we basically mostly relied on our donations, which at one point weren't coming at all, and it was really hard till we started promoting more and more and sharing with our friends and the community. And contacting the apartments was very hard as well because they didn't really get back to us, and we had to keep following up. And yeah, that's how we solved that problem, by continuously following up with them, and they eventually start to reply, but there's still some apartments that haven't replied yet. Yeah, the project is still ongoing. We plan to keep it going even after COVID-19 is gone. We still want to make cardboard bits for other underprivileged communities.
The actual challenge we mainly faced was contacting, as our age was against us. Many people either thought we were prank calling them, or we weren't being taking this seriously as we were only children. But our age was also used to our advantage, so people were sympathizing for us and were saying, wow, you are so young and yet you're still doing this.
Actually, our teacher, Mr. Lim, helped write us a letter to say that we are legitimate and we're not fooling around. We're actually trying to help and save the environment, and this project is real.
During the initial stages of the Design for Change competition, as we understand, the country was under various forms of the PKP. So as a result of which, a lot of the planning and organizing has to be done online, and boy, that's really a challenge, because we have to find common times, we have to find a suitable platform, be it Zoom or Google Meet, and sometimes, a lot of these ideas need to be get across over a short period of time. And certainly as we finally get back together to school, many of these challenges are managed to be overcome by us. One of the biggest challenges that we have encountered, of course, is to get support from apartments, shopping complexes, shops, and such commercial organizations in our community. Now, we have to understand, these are 11 to 12-year-olds approaching us with an original idea. So when they approach us with an original idea like this, I find that it's too hard to resist. So we ask them to, perhaps attempt to approach their close contacts. See, however, even with their close contacts, it is not very easy, because many of these organizations would like to see that there is some proof that this project is sustainable, and especially when the students also encourage us to approach the local government, the Majlis Bandaraya Pulau Pinang. Actually, for me, yes, they are very keen to support us, but the problem here is this is being pitched by 11 to 12-year-olds, see? So eventually, to overcome this challenge, I wrote letters of support for them, as well as organized Zoom meetings with these various organizations. And thankfully, we managed to not only get some apartment buildings and commercial organizations on board with us, as what accounted by our students, but also Majlis Bandaraya Pulau Pinang, which has kindly offered to implement the box collection point at one of their communities in Penang.
Saya berpendapat bahawa kebanyakan sekolah mempunyai program yang berkaitan dengan lestarian atau environment. Ramai daripada mereka terlibat secara aktif dalam sekitar semula, program alam sekitar dan projek pertanian di sekolah mereka. Walau bagaimanapun, ramai pihak sekolah mungkin tak sedar bahawa ini adalah sebahagian daripada SDG. Oleh itu, saya berpendapat bahawa stakeholder SDG harus cuba mengaitkan inisiatif yang sedang dijalankan di sekolah dengan elemen SDG. Dan dengan berbuat demikian, lebih banyak sekolah akan digalakkan untuk mengambil bahagian dalam inisiatif pembangunan lestari. Box to Bits oleh pelajar daripada Prince of Wales Island International School Penang merupakan contoh projek sustainability yang baik yang boleh direplikasikan.
Berdasarkan paparan itu tadi, kita sebenarnya berupaya untuk menyumbang idea yang mampu mengubah dunia ke arah yang lebih baik. Seperti murid-murid dari Sekolah Antarabangsa Prince of Wales Island Pulau Pinang. Mereka memastikan sistem pengasingan dan pengurusan dijalankan dengan baik supaya ramai pesakit tidak perlu risau akan kekurangan katil di hospital. Ini juga membuktikan apabila kita mengaplikasikan metodologi FEEDS dalam diri kita, iaitu kita cuba merasakan atau dalam kes ini tanam sifat empati terhadap kesukaran komuniti. Seterusnya, kita membayangkan cara terbaik untuk menyelesaikan sesuatu masalah dan melaksanakannya dengan cara baik serta berkongsi dengan komuniti lain, kita pasti akan capai matlamat pembangunan mampan dalam masa terdekat. Paparan itu mengakhiri episod kita kali ini. Jadi ikutilah kami di Instagram Majalah Didik untuk maklumat lanjut berkaitan Design for Change Icon Schools Challenge. Anda boleh tinggalkan sebarang komen atau cadangan. Mungkin anda juga boleh mendapat maklumat lanjut sekiranya anda ingin menampilkan sekolah anda dalam Majalah Didik. Sehingga kita bertemu kembali dalam episod akan datang, ingat, jangan berhenti berimajinasi kerana perubahan terletak di tangan anda. Betul. Saya Otto Othman. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera.